Well, I think probably by now you know that Rashod Bateman made history, becoming the first Ravens homegrown wide receiver to be awarded a third contract extension, multiple contracts. I guess technically a second contract extension because it was his rookie deal, last year's contract extension, team friendly, and this year's, meaning this week's contract extension that was just announced that keeps Rashod Bateman after a career season in Baltimore through the 2029 year. And it's something that he spoke about during his press conference not long after the news was announced yesterday.
Two parties kind of met. We kind of been negotiating since the end of the season, and it was something that both parties wanted to do, and it just made sense for both of us, and we worked it out. So I'm happy to be here, blessed and fortunate. So keep chasing the Super Bowl.
Keep chasing a Super Bowl. He will. He's part of this core, right? This core that's fallen a little bit short in recent years. But now Rashod, coming off a season where he put forth over 700 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns, over 40 receptions, somebody that was impactful and available all throughout the season and into the postseason prior to that last game where he went down. He gets awarded. The Ravens do right by Rashod Bateman. And you already know that he was feeling it and feeling the emotions of the moment. His Instagram story and a Twitter post is what you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. And for the audio-only audience, I'll read it for you word by word. Rashod wrote, "Feeling incredibly grateful today. Baltimore believed in me from the start, and this extension means a lot. I want to thank Mr. Bisciotti, Eric DaCosta, and Coach Harbaugh and the entire coaching staff for their trust and support. It's been a journey of growth on and off the field. To my teammates, thank you for pushing me, holding me down, and making this locker room feel like home. The relationships I've built here mean everything. I've learned a lot, matured, and grown as both a player and a person. This city has shaped me in ways I'll never forget. Excited for what's ahead. Let's get to work. Batman. That emotional message from Rashod Bateman after he was awarded a multi-year contract extension that, again, keeps him in Baltimore for the long haul. And somebody that was big time last year when you look at the numbers from an explosiveness standpoint. I mean, again, this was a player that his previous 3 years had combined for 4 total touchdowns. He put up 9 last year, 17 games, a clean bill of health, something that has plagued him throughout his previous 3 years. 16.8 yards per reception, 45 receptions on 72 targets. Saying and doing all the right things when there's a microphone in front of him. Got to be happy for this guy right now. I know I am. I've been a doubter over the years. Not a hater, a doubter. I had somebody tweet at me yesterday when I was kind of chronicling Rashod's last 4 years or so. He's like, "Bobby, you owe him an apology." For what? What do I owe him an apology for? I haven't been rooting against the guy. I've had my doubts. I think a lot of you have had your doubts, deservedly so. But now that he's on the other side and he's withstood these punches, he's stayed in the fight. Man, hard to find somebody that is more deserving than Rashod Bateman of this extension. And I commend the Ravens for doing right by their homegrown player. There's only good things that can come from this, including a little added motivation moving forward. And that is exactly what Rashod Bateman talked about yesterday, not long after this news was announced with Fox 45's Morgan Adsit.
Can you let yourself enjoy that more of the season you had, the production you had throughout all the injuries and adversity you had leading up to last year?
No, I mean, somebody asked me that, but it's kind of hard. I do feel like I'm on a revenge tour. I kind of want to get the years back that I had and plus some. So the mindset that I have, I've been trying to enjoy where we were last year, but the way things ended, it's hard to focus on what I've done. I kind of want to be more for this team and whatever that looks like, and just be prepared to eventually get to the Super Bowl.
Did you guys catch what I caught there? Revenge tour. That's what he told Morgan Adsit. It feels like a revenge tour. That's courtesy again of Fox 45. And as we chronicled recently, after this news was released, I think it probably warrants repeat. Rashod signed a very modest, very team-friendly extension last year to the tune of a 2-year, $12.8 million deal. Okay. That was a direct result of not even being eligible for the 5th-year option. Remember that? He didn't accrue a credited season in 2023 because last year's training camp, he was on the did not report list. That triggered the non-credited season. A major gaffe by his representation, which led him to changing representation. 2023, they go ahead and draft a first-round wide receiver in Zay Flowers. They bring in Odell Beckham Jr. He can't stay on the field, Ken Rashod. It's injury after injury, whether it's the Liz Frank that lingered, whether it was the groin his rookie year, you name it. That led to some off-field frustrations boiling over on social media. Eric DeCosta's comments triggering him. We all kind of know the roller coaster ride that Rashod Bateman has taken us on. But for him to now be on the other side, and for that to be such an afterthought, and for him to be hitting his stride right now, it just makes so much sense for this extension to come down the pike now. It includes $16.5 million guaranteed, an $8 million signing bonus. And yes, he's now under contract through the 2029 season. Big congrats are in order for Rashod Bateman. And that's not all he discussed yesterday at the podium. He was a little caught off guard by last year's extension. That was not the case this year.
Two parties kind of met. We kind of been negotiating since the end of the season, and it was something that both parties wanted to do, and it just made sense for both of us, and we worked it out. So I'm happy to be here, blessed and fortunate. So keep chasing the Super Bowl.
A surprise this year than last year.
Less of a surprise this year. This year it made sense to me for sure, most definitely.
Why did it make sense to you?
Because I feel like I finally did something on the field that was impressive and something that you can respect and stand on. Before that, it was a little bit shocking. I had some ups and downs here and there, so to be able to be here now, it feels good. You know what I'm saying?
And what about the validation that comes with it too, right? In a sense, Rashod took a little bit of a victory lap yesterday. Watch this.
I can play ball, and it's like everybody knows that now, and I'm not here to prove that to nobody. I want to prove that to my teammates, and I work for the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? I work for Lamar Jackson technically, and if these guys are pleased with with what I'm doing and my work ethic and all of that, then I feel like as a team, that's what's important to me. So. I've done that, and I'm definitely looking to continue to build off of that for sure.
And where things are at with he in the front office at this point?
Trust from between player and organization that, look, if I outperform a contract that even if I just signed it, if I outperform that, this organization is going to take care of me in the long run.
That's what you would want them to do, but it doesn't guarantee anything. I got a good relationship with DeCosta, and I think they helped as well. They respect how I work, how I come in the building, and my teammates do. And I think that's why I'm still here. I hope so. Not just about what I do on the football field. So I'm definitely hoping to continue that mindset and that work ethic to continue to prove to the coaches that I'm worthy.
And one more, full circle.
I think for me, it hits different when it's a receiver here. Well, we all know the perspective here, and we've been through a lot. We go through a lot. We continue to go through a lot. When it comes to facing backlash here and there or wherever it may be. But it definitely, I'll just say it means a lot. To be able to start something new here. Something fresh when it comes to the receiving room, and hopefully we continue to make plays and change the narrative of what we have here.
Sounds to me like a player who is very aware of some of the shortcomings and the historical shortcomings at the position that he plays at the organization that he is an employee of, and he wants to shift that narrative. He wants to change things around. And it sure seems like he and Zay Flowers have a pretty darn good chance to do exactly that moving forward. And then we'll see if the LeJohntay Westers, the Devontae Walkers, right, so on and so forth, can continue that kind of trend, that lineage that has been started in recent years. Homegrown Ravens wide receivers, right? Rashod, as I mentioned at the top, is the first homegrown Ravens wide receiver to receive multiple extensions. And while last year's was more of like, hey, we're just going to kind of give you a shot here, right? Because that was so team friendly that in a lot of ways, if you're Rashod, you're thinking to yourself, man, I can't believe how things have fallen to this sense. I'm a former first round pick, and my first extension is a $12 million deal. Could be a tough pill to swallow. That could be tough to overcome, not get swallowed up by the narrative that's attached to that. But instead, the dude just put his head down, trusted in himself, trusted in Lamar, trusted in the organization. And now a year later, it's certainly worked out in his and the team's favor. And that's probably the best part about this deal. While Rashod, should he put forth another statistical season and even go north of what he did and go into the 800-900 category this upcoming season, he's going to be looked at and continue to be looked at as a bargain. But the Ravens have done right by him, and they awarded him what he earned, what he was offered. As the press conference and John Harbaugh gets started just as we speak. Are we fully caught up on Super Chats? We are. It's been a light day so far in terms of gift giving and Super Chats. So if you have any comments, hit me with them, and I will display them up on the screen as they come in. This came in yesterday, and it's Aaron Rodgers and his plans to sign with the Steelers, which is now official. Pittsburgh and A-Rod have agreed to terms on a 1-year contract. The 4-time MVP is 41. And he's somebody that will now be quarterbacking the AFC North team known as the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that means, should he stay healthy, the Ravens and Steelers will match up, and Lamar and Aaron will match up for the first time on Sunday, December 7th. That is week 14. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff, and they will then turn around a little over a month later and play Pittsburgh again on the road, week 18. There's a TBD flex game label attached to this because obviously they got to figure out how things are going to play out down the stretch of the NFL season. But it's very backloaded with AFC North competition. Really starting in week 13. You go Cincy, Pittsburgh, Cincy. That's week 13 through 15. Whew. And then you finish up with Pittsburgh. That's a rough go of it to finish off the regular season, just in terms of the challenges that come with in-division competition. But yeah, that's what's happening. And according to Adam Schefter, the Steelers never wavered in their belief that Aaron eventually would sign with them. Mike Tomlin loomed large in this entire situation. Tomlin was a drawing card for Rodgers and was happy to work with Rodgers' timeline. He is a major reason that Rodgers will be a Steeler. That from Schefter. I want to be clear here. I don't think that this is a huge threat to the Ravens' chances of winning the division. I do think that Pittsburgh and Baltimore will split the regular season series, and I do think that the Steelers just got better. Yes, he is 41. Yes, he is 2 years removed, less than that, from a serious Achilles tear. And yes, he did not play his best football in his 2-year stint, which was really a season with the New York Jets. And last year, in a lot of ways, was a lost season because it took him a while to get his football legs back from underneath him. I do think that this is a player that is an upgrade from what they previously had at the quarterback room in Mason Rudolph. And I do still think that he has some left in the tank. Do I think it's enough to get more than 10 wins in Pittsburgh? That's a little rich for me. I have this team as 10-7, 9-8, hovering around that. I got the Ravens at 12-5, and that'll take the division. That's what I'm going with.